Hey, what's up? Came across a few videos here. I'm going to talk about a couple of them today. This first one is, and I'll have links in the description below if you want to watch them. The title of this video is Answer the Damn Question. Ted Cruz silenced DOJ witness at hearing. And this is from House News. I don't know what House News is. I don't know. I don't care. And it's what I've been talking about. It's these politicians just get to say and do whatever they want, and there's no accountability. What other job that you can have out there where you don't have to answer your question, you don't have to know anything about it, and you just get to keep your job? Let's listen and get sick to our stomachs. Try not to puke.
How many people have been charged with crimes of violence in connection with the events on January 6th?
Senator, I'm not sure exactly how many have been charged with crimes of violence. I know that there are remaining.
How many have been charged with nonviolent crimes?
I don't have the numbers of people charged, whether at the state or federal level. I know that
how many people?
Why not? He's being questioned about this because he's... Well, I don't know why. He's a DOJ witness, but he's supposed to know. It's part of his job. I don't know why he's before Congress right now, but he's supposed to know. It's the whole reason for this, is that he's getting drilled about all of these things. I believe he's being selected. He's a nominee. Did computers just fry out? Well, what's to keep him from having a laptop and having a couple of aides look this stuff up? Whenever you go before Congress and it's being aired like this, this is because you're supposed to be held accountable for your actions. Not this guy. Just going to do whatever I want. I don't care. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to avoid. I'm going to evade.
People are currently incarcerated concerning the events of January 6th.
I don't know the number of people incarcerated. Again, I know that.
Okay, let me ask you that. Look, with limited time, so I don't want you to filibuster. You either know the answer or you don't. How many people have been placed in solitary confinement concerning the events of January 6th?
I don't have any information about that, Senator.
You know why? You know why? Because a lot of them it's 0 to none. Because this whole thing with January 6th is just a big goose egg. It's a bunch of nothing. Very little to nothing. It's just to make Trump look bad.
You know, Mr. Olson, I will say the sad. Senator Lee just asked you about this. Back in June of 2021, Senator Lee and I and 2 other senators sent a letter to the Department of Justice asking these questions, asking about the differential prosecutions. Let me ask you, during 2020, Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots all across the country, there were over 700 police officers injured by Black Lives Matter and it.
Okay, so I guess he's not being nominated. Well, maybe he is, and he's working for a promotion or whatever. I don't care. I care about how does this fool get away with this? All these politicians get away with this. I don't know. I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to ignore Congress and do whatever the hell that I want. And what I want to do is just to blow you off.
Antifa riots. How many people have been charged with crimes of violence concerning those riots all across the country?
I mean, I tell you what, they should just go there and just a T-shirt and blue jeans. Well, why even bother fixing yourself up? The thing's a joke. You should go there and you should dress yourself up literally as a clown. Put on white makeup, have a big old wig on, big red horn nose. What are they going to do? Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
I don't have information on how many, I would say, hundreds of people have been charged.
You would say, but you don't know. When we asked you why the Biden Department of Justice has such wildly disparate standards, going after January 6th.
It's their job. This is the Department of Justice.
Crimes of violence, and anyone who commits crimes of violence should be prosecuted, but also targeting a lot of non-violent individuals. We asked you, why is it that you won't target the rioters and terrorists who firebomb cities across this country? The answer we got from the Department of Justice was shameful. On October 22nd, you came back and said, quote, "The department has dedicated investigative and prosecutorial resources commensurate with the significance of these events."
You get put into office in any such way, you should be held responsible for your platform, whatever the issues are. And then whenever you get into office, you don't get to ignore the law. Did they break the law? Yes, they did. Why did nothing happen? Everyone within the DOJ who had the power to prosecute these people with these riots going along the coast there, or the Chad zone, all these people in the DOJ who had the authority to do something and didn't, they should be in prison. What if you were at your job and the boss calls you in, says, "I want to know about your job. I want to know why you haven't been doing your job." And if you sat there and you said, "I don't know. I don't have those answers. I don't have those numbers," and you're just sitting there, you know the boss is going to call you in, that you're going to be drilled, and you come completely unprepared. Are you going to keep that job? What do you think should happen to this guy? You think he should continue to have his job? Do you think he should be fired? Do you think he should be fined? It's like, I think all of it, because this just isn't any job. I think he should absolutely 100% be fired. And he should be fined. And he should be put in prison. This isn't some, like, a board meeting and they called in somebody and it's for some big electronics company, and so their profit margins are down. It's like, it's not like that. You're talking about the safety of the American people and what should be allowed and what should not be allowed, about breaking the law, about conducting vandalism and violence. Yes, he should be in prison. If he's a lawyer, he should be barred. He should be fined. He should be never allowed to run for public office of any kind ever again. We have over 300,000 people in the U.S. will get by. Being in office with the government in any capacity, it's like, that's a privilege and a right. And you just lost both. It's no longer a privilege for you to do this, and you don't have that right. And it's a privilege because there are places around the world where it's like, no, you can't. Doesn't matter. We're privileged here in the U.S. to be able to, for anybody to pretty much just go and run for office. You know, as long as you don't have like a felony or something like that, that bars you from some positions.
By significance, I guess it means the political benefit to the Biden White House. And I will tell you, there are a great many Americans who are understandably deeply concerned about the politicization of the Department of Justice under President Joe Biden. It has been 218.
Let's move on to the next one.
Sir, I'm sure you can appreciate that I can't go into the specifics of sources and methods.
Same thing with
Did
this
any
chick.
FBI agents or confidential informants actively participate in the events of January 6th? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Sir, I can't answer that.
Did any FBI?
Why not? You are not disclosing anything. You are not disclosing their names. You're not doxing them. It's not their addresses. It's nothing. Senator Ted Cruz is not asking something like, are there federal agents who were involved in January 6th who were looking into terrorist actions? Like some kind of bombing, Al-Qaeda kind of stuff. He's not asking that. She knows it. He is asking, were there any federal agents there who were there to rile up the crowd? That they were doing things solely for the purpose of helping Biden and his administration look good and to make Donald Trump look bad. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about terrorist activities and that there might be some kind of sleeper cell here. That's not what he's talking about. He's not talking about those federal agents, if there were any like that here. That's not what he's talking about. He's not talking about anything of any kind of national security, foreign interests, none of that. He's talking about federal agents who are, and he's going to get to it.
FBI agents or confidential informants commit crimes of violence on January 6th?
I can't answer that, sir.
Did any FBI agents or FBI informants actively encourage and incite crimes of violence on January 6th?
Sir, I can't answer that.
See, he's not talking about terrorist acts and terrorist organizations. He's talking about people who were just there to basically stir the pot.
Ms. Sadburn, who is Ray Epps?
Yep.
I'm aware of the individual, sir. I don't have the specific background to him.
Well,
Why not? See, here's another problem, is that they all know that they were doing this hearing over the January 6 riots. And it's like, why don't they know these questions in advance? So what? Doing this little gotcha moment doesn't do anything. I hope that they know these questions in advance so that they can prepare, so then that way we can get the best possible answers out of them. So it's like, maybe she didn't know that she was going to be asked about this federal agent that was there. Because he's got pictures.
there are a lot of people who are understandably very concerned about Mr. Epps. On the night of January 5th, 2021, Epps wandered around the crowd that had gathered. And there's video out there of him chanting, "Tomorrow, we need to get into the Capitol, into the Capitol." This was strange behavior, so strange that the crowd began chanting, "Fed, Fed, 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 Fed." The Sandburn, was Ray Epps a Fed?
Sir, I cannot answer that question.
The next day,
Bullshit. And I'm also going to throw it the other way and say, screw Ted Cruz. Because of anyone, he knows exactly what he's going to answer. And this is something that happens all the time, is that they don't answer. I've had many other videos where I've shown what's going on in Congress with these hearings and nominees for some position or whatever, and they just blow over the questions constantly. Well, what's the point of having these hearings and having these discussions, if asking these questions, if they don't have to answer? If Congress doesn't have the power to make these people answer, then screw Ted Cruz for not making it a law, to pass some kind of bill saying that whenever you go before Congress, you have to answer, or some kind of perjury, and off to prison you go. It's just a circus.
The next step on January 6th.
It's like I don't give a damn about these pictures. I don't care that this is all real or not. This does not solve anything. It's like, now what? Everybody's just going to go home? End of a good day? It's like it wasn't a good day. Nothing got resolved at all. Nothing.
6. Mr. Epps is seen whispering to a person, and 5 seconds later, 5 seconds after he's whispering to a person, that same person begins to forcibly tear down the barricades. Did Mr. Epps urge them to tear down the barricades?
Sir, similar to the other answer.
Let me show you a guy where he answers and he talks pretty well. And this guy, I don't know who he is. It says entire Congress speechless, but it's like, I don't know, it doesn't look like it. Standing ovation, it's like you don't see that either. So a bunch of fluff words in here. House News too. Maybe I should subscribe to them. Watch this brave man. It's like brave. It's like, leave the fluff out of it. Leave the entire Congress speechless with epic speech. It's like they are speechless. Well, I don't know. They just don't say anything. I don't know if it was so much a shock. So epic, it's like, it's a buzzword, but yeah, I'll go with it. It was pretty good. It was epic. And gets a standing ovation. So what? I don't care if they clapped or not. If it's a good speech, it's a good speech. If it's not, it's not. And this one was.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes. I didn't have time to.
You have to give us your name.
I'm sorry. My name is Mark Robinson. I live. It's right here in Greensboro. I've lived in Greensboro all my life.
So he says right here in Greensboro. I don't think this is a federal. I think this is the state, maybe Senate, or maybe a city. Maybe this is a large city, but I don't think this is federal.
I didn't have time to write a fancy speech. I didn't have time.
Actually, maybe it is federal because
Time to, I didn't have the resource of an English teacher to sit down and write a speech with at school today.
Speaker from the floor.
All over
Okay,
here
well,
practice or anything. What I really came down here for is this. I've heard a whole lot of people in here talking tonight about this group and that group, domestic violence, blacks, these minorities and that minority. What I want to know is, when are you all going to start standing up for the majority? And here's who the majority is. I'm the majority. I'm a law-abiding citizen who's never shot anybody, never committed a serious crime, never committed a felony. I've never done anything like that. But it seems like every time we have one of these shootings, nobody wants to put the blame where it goes, which is at the shooter's feet. You want to put it at my feet. You want to turn around and restrict my right, constitutional right that's spelled out in black and white. You want to restrict my right to buy a firearm and protect myself from some of the very people you're talking about in here tonight. It's ridiculous. I don't think Rod Serling could come up with a better script. It does not make any sense. The law-abiding citizens of this community and many communities around this country, we're the first ones taxed and the last ones considered and the first ones punished when things like this happens.
so yeah, he says of this community. So no, it's not the federal level. He said this community and other communities around the country. So
because our rights are the ones that are being taken away. That's the reason why I came down here today. Gun show or no gun show, NRA or no NRA. I'm here to stand up for the law-abiding citizens of this community. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You can take the guns away from us all you want to. You all write a law, I follow the law, I'll bring my guns down here, I'll turn them in. But here's what's going to happen. The Crips and the Bloods on the other side of the counter, they're not going to turn their guns in. They're going to hold on to them. And what's going to happen when you have to send the police down there to go take them? The police can barely enforce the law as it is. As what I see, we demonize the police, criminalize and vilify the police, and we make the criminals into victims.
yeah, to go on that just a little bit further is that You can't make everything illegal. The police just can't police every single thing that you want to, no matter how good it may sound. A great example is just drugs. You cannot regulate that because there's just too many and too many people. You cannot do it that way. I am all for drug regulation, not making it illegal. It's like a billion times better to say, you know what? No, you can sell drugs. Here's what you're going to have to do. In some places around the world, I think Spain or Portugal, I forget which one, they made it legal. I don't remember if it was the entire nation or if it was just one city. It might have just been a city. They said it's legal here for certain drugs. You're going to have to put it up on the part of town that we say, though, which is can't be around any schools, can't be around any residential areas. It's got to be in a place away from people and where they live. And I think it was also that they had to have a clinic too for rehab and for counseling to help that these people also had to go and talk, and that they were given like clean needles and some stuff like that. But it wasn't just anywhere and everywhere all over town, because there were plenty of people who just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to see it. They don't want it introduced to their children.
And we're talking about restricting guns? How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that when the police department's already hamstrung? You're not going to be able to go down here and take these guns from these criminals. So the criminals are going to hold on to their guns. They're still going to have them. They're still going to break in my house, and they're still going to shoot me with it. And guess who's going to be the one that suffers? It's going to be me. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, it is not going to happen without a fight. And when I say fight, I don't mean shots fired. I don't mean fist thrown. I mean, I'm going to come down here to this city council and raise hell just like these loonies from the left do.
So it's a city council meeting here. So I guess they're talking about regulations that they're trying to impose on the city, which from what he's been saying so far makes sense.
Until you listen to the majority of the people in this city, and I am the majority. The majority of the people in this city are law-abiding, and they follow the law, and they want their constitutional right to be able to bear arms.
He's absolutely right. I love it. He said, I am the majority, and the majority is law-abiding citizens. And it's like, that's something that you can control. You are a bigot whenever you talk about characteristics of a person or a group of people, of characteristics that you have no control over. Your race, your age, your sex, you got no control over that stuff. But being a law-abiding citizen, that's anybody. You have a choice. It's like you can choose to follow the law or to break the law. And that's what makes this man with this speech good. This is something that everyone can accomplish. This is something that everyone can do. Man or woman, black or white, young or old, everyone can choose or not to choose to be a law-abiding citizen. This is a good speech. This is something that's not some kind of crazy nonsense. This is something that's legitimate.
They want to be able to go to the gun show and buy a hunting rifle or sport rifle. There are no military-grade weapons sold at the gun show. An AR-15 is not a military-grade weapon.
I'm going to dispute that. I was in the Army. I was a 19th Delta Cavalry Scout, and it's like, he's wrong. But it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a military-grade weapon, though. I mean, it's no different. You can hunt with either, whether if it's military issue or civilian. The only thing that you really can't get a hold of is just extremely large caliber weapons and automatic weapons. You still kind of can, but you have to have permits and workarounds for all that kind of stuff.
Anybody that go into combat with an AR-15 is a fool. It's a semi-automatic 22 rifle. You'd be killed in 15 minutes in combat with that thing. So we need to dispel all these myths, and we need to drop
I had to look it up. So it says here the AR-15 is one of the most versatile rifles that money can buy. Its standard 5.56 cartridge is used worldwide by police NATO forces. So, yeah, and that's what I always thought it was. I mean, it looks exactly like an M16, but however, with this, what caliber can an AR-15 shoot? The AR-15 rifle usually comes chambered with either the military cartridge, either or. So, or the 223 Remington. So maybe that's what he's referencing there. So, but I've never had an AR-15. I've just shot the M16, but it's the exact same damn thing. So, just wanted to be clear. I'm not trying to get anyone confused or berate this guy or anything.
All this division that we got going on here. Because the bottom line is, when that Second Amendment was written, whether the framers liked it or not, they wrote it for everybody. And I am everybody. And the law-abiding citizens of this city are everybody. And we want our rights, and we want to keep our rights. And by God, we're going to keep them, come hell or high water.
I hope he sticks with it, because I have a feeling that, I mean, who's going to listen to this guy? Just because he came up there and spouted a lot of facts doesn't mean anything. It's like politicians don't care, and it's ridiculous. You know, it's like, where are the checks and balances for the people to put the politicians in balance? It's like there should absolutely be that. There should be a whole system set up just to screw over corrupt politicians. Absolutely 100%, where the people get to do it. Something along the lines, and this is just kind of thoughts that I haven't dove too deeply in, but it's like, if you have it, then you go and you take these corrupt politicians to court, that they should be personally fined with their assets and what they have. So it's like with Hillary, with her non-charitable foundation, she's got millions of dollars. It's like, it should be taken up. Almost ready. Anything political should be over with, and that all of their assets in their name and their spouses and anything associated that they've done with their children and extended family during this time period should all be confiscated, sold, and I don't know, the government or the people who are filing these charges should get it, regardless, because if you have found corruption, the government should pay you, because the people owe it to you for doing that service. And taking like $10 million and paying these people for their services for doing this, it's like 10 million is a lot of money. Not compared to the 1.9 trillion to pay them 10 million. Did I say that wrong? I meant 10 million. Like, that would be pretty justified. It's like, how many people would be incentivized to go out and attack these corrupt politicians? One of the ways that we can help with this is that by helping me build this site of having up-to-date, accurate information available to everybody. I have a lot more planned than this. This is like one thing of like 1,000. It's nothing. I want the information to be accurate, filled with checks and balances, where facts lead the way. And I know exactly how to set that up. I don't want to talk about it because I want to keep it close to the chest. I don't want anyone to take it, because you could definitely take it, copy it, definitely manipulate it into some nonsense. And I just don't trust anyone. And I don't care. So, but it should be It should be the government should absolutely pay these people should they win. And if not, then there should be consequences. There shouldn't be a bunch of these frivolous lawsuits trying to hope that they kind of get lucky, just being like a hammer and hoping that you hit a nail. It's like, no, you actually need to present your stuff. And to help get lawyers on board that, maybe they can get some kind of accommodation that they can display in their office to help show that, no, I'm a reputable lawyer. I fought the government. I took down corruption. Just something to help verify the work that they've done. And especially if they're younger lawyers who are looking to make a name for themselves. So how many are actually going to be able to do that and pull it off? Yeah, that doesn't look like this.
Is why law-abiding citizens buy millions of these firearms. When accuracy and stopping power matter, they are simply better. Chairman Nadler, Ranking Member Collins, and distinct.
So I saw this one before, and I think this one, I think this is with Congress, with the Senate or the House. I don't remember which. It's a little bit older. She gives a pretty good speech about it all, and it's like this isn't it. This is not it. This is you going before them and making this speech. It means absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean anything until your words can translate into actions against corruption. That's what we're going to do here. It's going to take time. It's going to be a grind until things get up and get going. But that's what I'm going to absolutely do. I'm not going to create some kind of just stupid little site that's just going to make money. It's like, no, we're going to do actions. Lots and lots and lots. Whatever it takes to put an end to this stuff, to bring on new ideas of checks and balances, accountability, no more running around in circles of this dog and pony show with the Democrats and the Republicans, with the news and the government. No more. So if you're interested in that too, if you're tired of this, because I would rather be doing more productive things. I wish I could be doing things that are more entertaining, that are more productive for me, for you, for everyone, where I can go online and it's like, here's all this great information and I don't have to worry about being screwed around. It's like, here it is, extremely clear. There's no reason why we can't, not whenever we have all this damn technology today. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you understand, then help me out and support this. Just start by giving the video a thumbs up, giving it a like, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Catch you later. Bye.